What's up, guys? Just wanted to jump on and share some energy with you. This morning, when I lay awake in bed, I had the thought, the feeling, the sensation come over my being, my soul, my mind's eye. And the words that it said to me is, "It's all taken care of." I got myself up, went to my workstation here at this computer desk that I look at you in through the lens of my laptop with right now. Recorded a TikTok video at Running Gun Tarot. Go check it out and follow me. Help get me to 1,000 likes so I can spread the word and the messages that are given to me from a higher frequency, if you will. So I can start going live stream on TikTok at Running Gun Tarot. But again, I repeat to you, watch that video. I give you basically the essence of it right here in this moment. And the word, the phrase, the feeling to share was, "It's all taken care of." That bill that you have to pay, that dread that you feel, that doubt, that fear, that worry, that concern, it's all taken care of. Let me get my coffee in a moment. The right person will find you. The right people will find you. The right opportunities will find you. The right moments will find you. The right thoughts will find you. The right feelings will find you. All that drudgery, that moment, in that moment of drudgery, I want you to tell yourself it's all taken care of. In that moment of fear, in that moment of doubt, I want you to tell yourself it's all taken care of. That bill you have to pay, that utility, that rent, that loan, that credit card, it's all taken care of. That relationship, that angst, that dredge, that hate, that fear, that drudgery, that dread, it's all taken care of. I want you to practice that all throughout the day. And your job, your moment in time, what you're meant to do is to witness the unfolding and the experience, the fun and the excitement behind it all. And condition yourself and set that pattern and use that as a tool. And it may be a moment by moment thing for you, or when you have a thought or a feeling, remind yourself not to worry by repeating after me. It's all taken care of in your mind in that moment, or say it out loud. It's already taken care of. That thing that you have to do that you've been putting off, that, whatever, XYZ, it could be external, or like I said, it could be a momentary moment within yourself. Tell yourself it's already taken care of. It's all taken care of. And watch the shift, watch the unfolding come about in your life. Watch the magic happen. Watch the space unfold in your favor. All the doubters, all the naysayers, it's already taken care of. I also want to share something with you. Um, I myself have been going through financial issues and doubts and fears. And not only is it incredibly amazing that this came to me in the morning, almost as if it was like a thought exercise being given to me to share with myself, to use for myself, and as well as share with you. But I want to share with you something very interesting and, to me, special and exciting that happened yesterday when I was looking at the tarot cards in my moment of doubt and maybe even grief. I've been at a crossroads having to make a decision if I want to stay here in LA in this apartment or go back home to Chicago. I've been fighting for the longest time to try to afford to stay out here. It's already taken care of. But in my mind's eye, in that human moment, you know, I've been telling myself the market's been saturated both with delivery services, because that's something that I started to do to supplement my income, with tarot, all that stuff. And I've been looking on the job market for months now, 4 months now, and I haven't really been getting any, breakthrough to the point of being employed. But that's all right because it's all taken care of. But in that moment last night, just before bed, I was asking straight up the energies of the tarot, the energies that are imbued into the tarot cards. That's why I love them. That's why I value them. Thank you. I asked, and I even made a video about it last night that I'll have to post on TikTok actually as I speak. And maybe we could both together look at that video. One second. I'm going to pin this one video, the one that I made on TikTok. So do you think it's important? It's all taken care of video. And everyone to be met. One second. Just want to post this video that I recorded yesterday and actually play it out loud for you so I can remember what I asked. I got a yes. It came out in the upright. I said, will I be able to pay it back? Yes, in the upright. Pass. Will I get a job in the month of September? Yes, in the upright. Has my luck changed for the best? Yes. So I'll play that. I'll post that, I should say. So I asked, should I take... Sorry about that. Should I take out that loan? Because I've been in the back of my mind asking myself, should I take out that loan? I got the Queen of Pentacles in the upright position. I read uprights as yes right off the bat. And the fact that it is that zhuzh and that spice, that sprinkling, that seasoning of the Queen of Pentacles, beautiful, yummy, delicious aura. And thing that she brings with her. Finance, abundance, giving, careness. I got that as an upright yes. I asked, will I be able to pay off said loan? 3 of Wands in the upright. That's another. I asked, I believe I asked, will I get a job in the month of December? King of Pentacles comes out in the upright. That's a yes. He brings his confidence, his assuredness, his resources, his wealth, his financial health, and his high standing, his prowess. Not to mention Venus is going forward in the next couple of days. Uranus going backwards. I believe Mercury is going to be coming out of retrograde in a week or two. Now the theme here is the theme of the court cards of Pentacles. They're all coming. Their presence is being known. I asked, is my luck changing for the better? 8 of Swords in the upright. Again, yes, 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 yes. The upright is a yes. 8 of Swords says I don't see it. I don't see it right now. And by the way, feel free to take this for yourself and apply it to the collective and whatever your circumstances. If you've been at a crossroads, feel free to place the question. Instead of it being alone, if that's not your particular situation, feel free to replace it with what you need, what you've been asking yourself. And then lastly, I asked, what did I ask lastly? I said, should I take a loan? Will I be able to pay it? Am I going to get a job in September? Has my luck changed? Oh, and will I be able to pay rent in October? And I got a yes in the upright. Knight of Pentacles in the upright. So these are pivotal moments in time. And the fact that all of the Pentacle court cards came out and made their presence known, the top 3 Pentacle court cards came out. To me, that's no coincidence in and of itself. The fact that they're all the same suit, golden backgrounds. Golden backgrounds are God's gifts and blessings. You see the 3 of Wands has a golden black background. And prior to this pull, I had done one before where the Page of Pentacles came out twice because I'm using a super deck here. And one came out in the reverse and one came out in the upright. So to me, there's something wanting to be said here. And I should say before that as well, I did a spread for myself earlier in the day. And not only did the 10 of Pentacles come out, and that's something I wasn't going to mention, but I might as well since it's there and it's for the cause of my point that I'm trying to make, or that I've made already. But the 8 of Wands came out. It was the first card to come out earlier in the day yesterday. And then later on that night, when I went to, right before doing this spread, I did another spread using the super deck. And a completely different deck, the 8 of Pentacles came out. It came out in this Tattoo Tarot deck. Basically my entire day, until the night when I did this other spread, and the first card that came out, guess what? The 8 of Wands. 2 different decks. One earlier in the day, one later at the end of my day. So to me, that synchronicity says that there's something pulling in the air energetically, and it's wanting to have itself be known. That 8 of Wands coming in twice for me when I was pulling those energies yesterday. And so that made me feel like, damn, something's in the air, son. Damn, son. Where'd you find that one? I love that. McLovin, he's recording in the booth with like some hardcore rappers. Those tags. Damn, son, where'd you find this? So the 8 of Wands, the 6 of Pentacles came out to me right off the bat. And again, I was inquiring about my particular circumstance, my situation. To me, it was saying income and communication, and then 6 of Pentacles being compensated. So it made me feel really good. And then this just blew my mind because, again, for all the court cards to come out in the upright, mind you, and I was asking yes or no questions. To me, that's rather noteworthy, mind-blowing, and astounding. NMA. Noteworthy, mind-worthy, and astounding. Johnny Millsap. There ain't no getting over me. I guess I could shuffle and pull some cards here. Sweet darling. Spirit of gratitude, joy, love, and light. Please feel free to share with us any blessings, gifts, miracles, broken curses that we are broken free from at this time and all times, past, present, future, inside and out. Please share with us any life affirming, exhilarating, energy giving messages, coincidences, synchronicities. Okay, you got the Hermit and the Emperor in reverse coming out. It could be a suggestion that Spirit wants you to get out there more. Okay, put yourself out there. There ain't no getting over me. Or kind of reopen that option for yourself as a possibility. A lot of our experience in the unfolding of our life path has to do with association of how we feel and how we think. Hence why if you're thinking something that makes you feel dread or that you normally wouldn't be open to, and you feel as though that thought is posing a question, hence the exercise that I'm introducing to you, which is to say it's already taken care of. I trust and have faith and have confidence in my alignment that I will do the right thing at the moment, that my life will unfold, the unfolding of the right path, the right current, the right direction. You know what I'm saying? I just want to test the live stream and make sure that the microphone is still on. So let me see. Testing. Okay. We are working. So, and I really think that does wonders for, our thought process, our mental state. And also, if that phraseology, gets boring, you can turn that into some sort of like humming mantra, which would actually, in this immediate moment or experience, it might even be the, equivalent of babble, in your mind, making noises like num 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 num. Like it's almost as if there's like some sort of like frequency or fortitude or wavelength or that you are reconditioning your mental frequencies and your thus your spiritual aura, your Taurus field for. So it's just really kind of like life affirming of the kind of mantra experience that I've been preaching. But sometimes in order to find that kind of channel or that frequency, it needs to come to you in the form of it's already taken care of. And then from there, you could devolve it into this kind of mantra, and your body, your mind will sync up and realize what it is that you're trying to do in that moment. I'm a firm believer in mantra and all that stuff. And sometimes these spiritual insights and enlightenments, these enlightenings, they have to reintroduce ourselves or themselves into ourselves. And I'm very kind of open to when it happens, especially if it happens like in twilight or late at night when you're feeling goofy and silly, or early in the morning like it happened to me earlier today. Now, one thing to remember about the mantras or what have you is that it's not, it's kind of like gratuitous, right? I feel as though that it's something where you could apply extra energy, but if you find yourself being worn out by it, then again, you could give it a rest, because part of spirituality is presence as well, and being in the moment. And one of the spiritual insights and the downloads that I had with being in the moment, another practice that you can practice is focusing on your thread of consciousness, almost as if you are threading a needle through some sort of fabric, right? Instead of responding to each and every moment with it's already done in your mind's eye, saying it to yourself in your mental dialogue, or instead of responding with instead of it's already done and taken care of, your mental. I call it mind rolling when you go like one like in your. I know it sounds weird, but it's like a wave pulse thought mantra where it's not actual language, but it's still the energy rhythm behind the language. I call that mind rolling when you think that babble to yourself. So instead of doing that, because that's a distinct practice in and of itself. I find that more so as like an electric practice where you're discharging, dissipating, expelling. It's positive electric energy, extra energy, and the magnetic experience is more so maintaining that point of focus and threading that needle through the fabric of your reality. And that will come in the form of just kind of playing things at face value, okay? Not blocking or fulfilling with those said mantras, as it were. And it's almost as if those are kind of like, you know, yin and yang, positive and negative, electric and magnetic, to your reality experience. And I almost feel as though that the more that you do that, and you become inclined and synchronized to do so at the right time, whenever it's right for you, when you're aware of your levels. Because sometimes we have to be more electric and sometimes we have to be more magnetic. Masculine, feminine, plus minus, yin, yang, then. And that might very well just be the sequence of life, is the decisions when to do that, right? When to kind of analog, manually do that at your level of awareness in your moment. In your moments, plural, as well as moment. Right? Because it's all one and the same, ever changing. So let's, if you have a weird feeling about your neighbor, it's already taken care of. It works for everything, Just to start to, because I think what happens is with language, it first has to kind of be like plastered onto the wall in written language in your mind's eye so that your brain can pick what feeling you should have for the given circumstance. And then when it turns into the kind of more primordial, just kind of humming mantra to yourself, so you're not saying the actual English or thinking the actual English verbiage each time, then it becomes more so of like, okay, it's already done. I know what piece I'm putting in that equation. And really, when I had that kind of thought in the morning, it really was this kind of like, it presented itself like, what answer can I plug into this kind of universal equation? Because what I was realizing in my morning kind of twilight, waking up half in between sleep and being awake, is that all the mind is doing is presenting problems. And that comes in the form of our thoughts, our worries, our concerns, what we feel we should do, that moment of dread or angst or turning white, cold. But it's all universal in that it's still the same, plug in this problem, plug in this solution. But if you make it universal, then you don't have to burn calories in trying to find out all this, all that. And that's when you move from logic to faith and trust. And that is a high frequency, right? As opposed to getting bogged down. I had a very kind of sour exchange with my mom yesterday. And now in this moment after the fact, I'm telling myself it's taken care of. It's already taken care of. It's all taken care of. I don't need to, get back or for any relationship seek revenge. And that's what I'm saying. You could do this for every aspect of your life in your mind's eye. Think about those sour relationships. Think about those weirdnesses. Think about that doubt and confusion, which are low frequency vibrations in your state of being. Tell yourself it's already taken care of. It's all taken care of. And sometimes that comes in the form of, thinking your next door neighbor's mad at you and feeling like you're walking on eggshells for whatever reason. If you felt like you were staying up late at night, or, maybe you keep them up, or, whatever weird mechanizations that, the human being does because of its years of evolution and living with others and sleep patterns and times of being awake or asleep. Tell yourself it's already taken care of. It's all taken care of. Even something that feels bigger than just that phrase, tell that part of it, it's all taken care of. So let's see what else we want to come up here. Just getting a really good shuffle here, which is what I like to do because it being a super deck, double the cards here, double the potential chances of an energy coming out. Any one given energy coming out. Sweet darling. Because I think what happens is we have something that we would deem or consider a worry or concern, like a bill or some upcoming event or whatever. And your body is already associating how to feel with it. And so when you walk away from it, it comes back and it wants to hit you really hard. But if you turn around and in that moment say it's already taken care of, then you don't have to react to it. And you're rewiring your brain, your mind, your mentality, how to condition feel about that. And that helps you fight other monsters down the road that your brain is unconsciously giving that same weight and gravitas to. Hell, it could be the U.S. government, it could be world corruption, it could be child trafficking, it could be disease and war, and you can tell yourself it's already taken care of. How powerful is that? Okay. So you have the Emperor coming out in the up right now as we talk about that. And what's funny is that when it comes out in the reverse, or when the Hermit's coming out in the reverse, it isn't really necessarily that you just need to get yourself out there. I want to add an addendum to that. The Hermit in the reverse can also be a call for internal reflection. It doesn't have to be the equal opposite of what we would understand the upright to be. In the upright, it is the Hermit that goes out into the world in the upright position. And so therefore, when it comes out in the reverse, it can be said that it's a suggestion to get out more, or it could just be a suggestion that you are trying to internally reflect and figure things out. And it could be that in the battleground of your internal dialogue, your mentality, your psychology, your spirit, your soul, the Emperor came out in the reverse because you may have been losing that battle, that war, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. But it's very important because everything is, for the most part, inside out. And then with the reflexive nature of reality, it then becomes outside in. And so when you begin to condition and reprogram the internal matrix, the natural feedback loop mechanism would have it that now you're seeing change and differentiation, because now you're repurposing and plugging in the kind of motherboard of, the operator's board of how I'm feeling, right? And that's why I make a special note to mention depression or feelings of, depressive thought patterns. One of my world-renowned, world-famous negative thought patterns I'll share with you is my brain wants to unconsciously just say or think. I mean, hell, it could be the FBI shooting, radio transmissions into my brain. I've heard of conspiracy theories that speak to that. But needless to say, it doesn't matter because it's all energy and frequency at the end of the day. Whether it's being, weaponized and shot into you, or whether it is just in fact some phenomena unconsciously coming from you, it's still a wave in the thought pattern, right? Because we're just radio receivers and signal senders. So one famous one is my brain, or the brain. I witness and I see and I hear the phenomena of a thought that says there is no God and nothing matters. Now, try to like untangle that and figure that out. Try to find some sort of equal opposite. So, hence, when I'm finding this idea of it's already taken care of, you're not even really entering and logging in, which is where you might get kind of caught in the web of that thought or feeling or that depressive mind state, right? It's almost as if it's pulling guard. And I noticed that's what actually one of the relationships I had, not to put her on blast, but with my mom, she was almost doing that too with our conversation. I remember thinking to myself mentally, she's pulling guard. And it's almost as if she's pulling me in to that negative energy, like she's feeding on my energy. So you have to be very mindful, because I think that in both cases, whether it's some low vibrational energy that we embody as people, or if it's just the low vibrational raw thought, one thing that you'll know is that if it's something that's happening automatically, that tends to be kind of subconscious. Or if you really think that negative frequencies exist in the air, maybe unto themselves or maybe propagated by external negative influence, malicious intent, of the conspiratorial, or however you want to understand it, then either way, it's doing the same thing, where it's trying to feed off your energy. And it's funny because it's like you have the micro and the macro and the terrestrial as far as the examples, because phone apps could do that, video games could do that, drugs could do that, let alone people and thoughts. It all seems to be the same mechanization of this energy is trying to latch onto you and extract something, whether it's a thought, whether it's an application, whether it's, now we deem something more positive than the next, for instance, if it's a YouTube channel, or if it's a musical instrument, or if it's your career or a relationship that's healthy and positive. The only differentiating factor of determinism there is the fact that we're deeming it positive and healthy based on our own reflexive meaning and our idea of value, what have you. So it's a very subtle thing, but when you begin to understand things on a subtle level, then you'll see that, oh shit, my own mom could do that. She could drag this whole fucking ship down with her bullshit nonsense. But if you be mindful of it, then you say it's already taken care of, like whatever. And the same thing for, like, I recently deleted dating apps because it was one way I think that I was kind of having trickle down energy being siphoned off. Whereas it's something that I could just put in YouTube or guitar, just whether it's a conspiracy psyop or whatever, technology purposefully not being used for the betterment of connectivity and connections in romantic relationships. You just got to go based off of what it's showing you, and also catch for me in this moment, the feeling of like, it's not worth being bitter. I think that that's an important part of, all of this, is that what is the feeling that it's left with you? And if you're on the precipice, if you could see something being there that would allow you to be bitter or angry or angsty or fearful, tell yourself it's already taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Don't even log into that. And it's like, fuck, man, if you have to have that be your anthem, or if you have to, whatever your version of it is, as long as you're if these concepts that I'm speaking of can be useful to you, then by all means use it. Because I do think that there's a lot that happens on that very kind of subtle level that um, you know it just goes left unsaid. We don't give it a second thought. Um, so yeah, interesting that the Emperor's coming out in the upright. Another thing that I like to do as far as like the mantra, I like to use like a word like love or heart, things like that. I think that's a good kind of um, electric pulse, positive thought to put out there. Because I think something really profound that I stumbled on, or that we stumbled on, or in this moment, kind of this, and it's not a new idea, but it's new, and it's new in your life. Is that holy fuck? Mantras are, they may be positive in polarity, and presence might be negative in that it's in its polarity, you know, or kind of the way that feminine energy is, or magnetism is, or I think it's like yang energy. I don't know. I can't remember. I always forget if yin is masculine, or I think yin is masculine, yang is feminine. Could be wrong, or it might be not. It might be yin is feminine, yang is. Let's look it up really quick. But I think yang is masculine. Yeah, yang is masculine. Okay, yin is feminine. Um, let's see, what else can we talk about here? Two of Cups in the reverse came out. Um, Page of Sword in the reverse came out. Page of Swords I read as like coming out of challenging energy. Could also be in regards to relationship. The Hierophant. I think a lot of like what I'm speaking to is the fact that like your brain is constantly gonna want to present to you new equations. Like for example, even when I flip this card, this reminds me of my ex. It reminds me of like crazy dreams that I had this past night. And it's like sometimes all that's not even worth thinking about and getting into. And you could just tell yourself it's all taken care of. I know it sounds kind of fuddy duddy that it's like, oh, it's this new hot trend of like just saying this one thing. But I think the coding behind it is the mechanics of it is um, it's not worth feeding the energy of thought and thinking to it. Not everything, and I know for myself personally, um, you know, can maybe over, uh, you know, think or try to excavate um, something that might be there or might not be there. And so it's kind of informing yourself to have more trust in how things play out, I would say. I think it's still cool to find things interesting and look into them, but ultimately it's something that is meant to be kind of solved, I would say, or maybe even written off. So this could be marriage, this could be tradition, some sort of formality. Oops. Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Someone could have been not giving, so you had to move away from them. Maybe you didn't know where you were going, but ironically enough, it seems to be that you're headed to the King of Pentacles, maybe some more form of personal empowerment through work, career, employment, doing it yourself, actually seeing a path to victory and success here for yourself. Again, temperance in the reverse, it could be that you feel, I read it as something that's outside of divine timing, but again, you can apply your mantra to it. It's already taken care of. Um, meaning don't give credence necessarily to just seeing that card in the reverse, because I personally feel and believe and think and know that we're always where we're meant to be, even if our conscious mind fools us into thinking or feeling momentarily that we're not. Because look at, as soon as I say that, that Ace of Pentacles comes to us as we're waiting for it. You know what I'm saying? So, in this Knight of Wands in the reverse, it's almost as if you've been like waiting and waiting your time, you know, treading water, waiting in the water. Ace of Wands in the reverse, maybe a lack of action. Three of Cups, something worth celebrating here. Could be away from family or away from something that you're familiar with. It's going to bring about this kind of financial success for you after a time of no communication. It's going to bring that happiness for you. All right, guys, I might leave it there, and then who knows what I'm going to be up to. I'll probably log on either sometime tomorrow or maybe later on in the day. But as always, if you see this, feel free to reach out. All my info is in the description box. You can text message me for a reading, all that good stuff. Love you guys. Peace.